What's up, Moti fans? Hope you guys had a great 2018, and we just wanted to say thank you for your support and Happy New Year. Now, 2018 was one of our biggest years to date with 27,000 new subscribers, and we're now oh so close to that 100,000 mark. So if you haven't clicked the button already, subscribe now, share our videos, get your friends to subscribe, because the more subscribers we have means the more views we get, the more sponsorship support, and the more great videos we can make for you guys. Our project cars are still self-funded, so the extra support is appreciated. Now we've got a big 2019 planned, but before we take a look at that, we're going to take a look back and check out our top 10 favourite moments for Moti video. Now, everything you're about to see is something we've featured on our YouTube channel. Now, first up, but in no particular order, earlier this year we put together a TV show called How to Build a 10-Second Skyline GTR. You obviously already know how and what we based that off. And that aired for Discovery Channel on the Velocity Network in a show called Velocity Dispatch. And you can check out that feature on our YouTube channel. After 6 years of development, it's led to it being the quickest GTR that we know of on a stock bottom end, having run a 992 at nearly 144 miles per hour. All while remaining drivable, responsive, and a fun all-round street car, the way a GTR should be. Our philosophy with this car from day one has always been to only replace parts that are either broken or we need to upgrade them to get more power. We put a fresh head gasket and fresh head studs into the car. Now, the last thing you want to look at for reliability is cooling. Now, if you're only doing drag passes, just leave it standard, it won't be an issue. However, if you're building a 500 plus wheel horsepower street car, you will need to invest into an aftermarket oil cooler as a minimum, and we also recommend getting an aftermarket aluminium radiator as well. Now, this year was the 10th anniversary of our GTR Challenge at Cootamundra Airport, and it was the very first time that we offered the Tuner's Edge Drag Battle and Tuner's Edge GTR Challenge coverage for free on YouTube. Now, we had over 400,000 views on our YouTube channel, over 5 million views across all the videos that we put out on various pages on Facebook, and that doesn't include our 1320 video coverage of the event as well. So it was the biggest amount of coverage we've ever seen, which is great for the workshops, great for the cars, great for the drivers, and great for the automotive industry in Australia to showcase what we can do to the rest of the world. Now, some pretty cool things happened at that event. There's plenty of rivalries, but probably our favourite showdown at that event was between Pele's R33 GTR with a H-pattern manual versus Josh's R32 GTR with a sequential gearbox, as these guys went tit for tat in an epic battle for manual GTR supremacy. The title for manual supremacy came down to two cars. Josh in the R32 GTR from B2R Motorsport and Pele in the R33 GTR from Matux Racing. You guys, B2R now has the manual record at Cootamundra. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Well, I can tell you one thing, mate. Congratulations, you are now the quickest H-pattern at Cootamundra with a 9.132.
9.1, baby, yeah. Thanks, heaps, man. That was awesome. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Sorry.
You can swear again. Yeah. Say it properly.
Yeah, bro.
a huge highlight for me personally in 2018 was getting to drive a V8 supercar thanks to the guys from Aussie Driver Search. Now, I entered into the pro competition at Sydney Motorsport Park, which was the first round, got to drive a Toyota 86 race car and a V8 Ute, which was actually pretty rad to drive, before driving a V8 supercar. Now, it was the last of the V8 supercars before they switched to car of the future, so they're a bit of a dinosaur compared to other modern race cars. They're under-tired, they're under-gripped, but man, they are so much fun, mega rewarding to drive, and it is a huge tick off the bucket list. Driving one of those makes it worth entering Aussie Driver Search. It was a blast. Now, the street GTR rivalry has just been epic over the last couple of years as we've watched King 32, Jun 2 and RH7 go tit for tat and battle it out as the quickest true street GTR in the world. And currently, Nader's King 32 is the quickest with a 7.0. But a big highlight for us was not that record, but it was when Jun 2 went 7.28 just before GTR Festival. Now, the reason why that's such a big highlight is because for over 6 months, no one could touch King 32's time of 7.4, and everyone was under the impression that it would probably never be beaten. So when Jun 2 went 7.28 and reset the margin by quite a fair bit, it totally reignited the GTR race. It made all of the workshops involved step their game up and made GTR Festival bigger, badder and faster. And obviously the guys from Atooks Racing pushed even harder to get their record back, which they now have. So it was a pretty big milestone this year when that time was set because, man, that battle went out of control this year, and we're sure it's going to stay out of control next year as well.
So the run itself was a 7.28 at 189 mile an hour with a 60 foot of 1.173, which honestly, you told me a year ago if the car's going to the 60 like that, I would have said no, impossible. But yeah, look, it's all come together, it's working well, and we're hoping to go even faster. I don't think we were sitting there saying, okay, we want to take the all out. You know, we just want to go as fast and quick as possible. It's always been the intention of the car, you know, to continually try and, you know, go quicker and faster. It's just the progressive thing. But look, the second it showed potential, of course, we wanted to take out every record that's out there. I think people were surprised. You know, more than anything, it's like, wow, did they really just run a 7.2? Yeah, you know, and I think if we had more track time on the day, and now we're looking to tweak a few more things, we're going to go quicker. I know for a fact that they're sitting there working on the car, getting it ready. It's all out war now. From their perspective, this is not a happening thing. But you know what? From our perspective, we're going to continue as well. And you know, I like the rivalry. I think we love it. You know, it's what it's all about.
The Nismo Performance Engineering GTR Festival is always a big highlight for us, and for me personally, it's a very special event. It is something I've dreamed of doing for a long time. So first up, I just want to say a big thank you to all of my team that work for us at the event to make it happen, all of the car owners, workshops, and of course all the fans that come to the event, support it and make it happen. And our goal is to be bigger and better in 2019. Now, a lot happens at the event, but probably the big highlight for 2018 was that we had Bobby Hamid's R34 Nismo Z-Tune in attendance, and it's the first time it's had really a big public display, and everyone had a chance to check out what is probably the rarest, most expensive and best GTR street car ever made. One of the star attractions of the 2018 Nismo Performance Engineering GTR Festival was the R34 GTR Nismo Z-Tune. Thanks to owner Bobby Hamid and with the help of B2R Motorsport, we were able to display what is not only the 1Z tune in Australia, but potentially the most expensive one of them all, with the 001 build plate. Now, our GTR unfortunately hasn't spent a whole lot of time running this year, but once we got the budget forged engine running in the middle of the year, and obviously before it broke again, we had the chance to take the car to Power Play Sydney for a day of just total thrashing. No stress, no pressure, no records or times to try and chase or beat. We just literally got to enjoy the car all day, had some great races and some great choppage, and then we got to race a Lambo before we then got to drive that Lambo. It's not very often you get to do that. Thanks, Tyson. Everyone, we're in a 2017 Lamborghini Huracan 2-wheel drive. They're a whole lot of fun, especially when you get to do this. Now, another big highlight for us in 2018 was being able to host the guys from Hoonigan here in Australia for a week in Sydney around World Time Attack. Now, obviously, we met the guys and we went over to Power Cruise USA and took the Burnout guys to their headquarters. So it was great to show them the hospitality here in Australia, from picking them up to the airport in some awesome cars, to having some fun that we won't talk about here, to organising cars for them to feature and organising them to use the drag strip and having them on our stand at World Time Attack, and in general, just having a good time and a thrash with the guys from Hoonigan.
Well, the engine's doing work.
Was it all you expected?
That was everything I expected, because it's a rear-wheel drive 400 horsepower Civic that weighs 1,800 pounds. That's pretty amazing. You guys are nuts. This is what you guys do?
It's a normal day, man.
This is what you
It's
call
a normal
bogan?
day.
Is this a bogan?
I'll eat lunch while this is happening.
2018 saw the running of our very first runway thrash event. Now, it was designed to just be a chilled out, fun day. We took away the invite-only part, and we took away what we thought would be some of that fierce rivalry that you get at Drag Battle and GTR Challenge. Essentially, we just wanted to have fun. Now, some of the big name workshops decided not to turn up, and everyone thought it would just be a nice, chilled out, fun day, but we were blown away by the fact that nearly every single record was smashed at Runway Thrash. It's very hard to have a favourite one in particular, so here's what happened. First up, we had a new V8 record with Danny's RX-7 LS Turbo running a 9.615. BYP stole the show with Benny's white MR2 going 9.88, but Adrian's black MR2 killed it with not just a new 4-cylinder 2-wheel drive record, but a 4-cylinder outright record and a 2-wheel drive outright record of a staggering 9.1 seconds.
Oh, it's got to be 9.4 or something. Something close to that.
Dude, it was 9.1.
No way!
Holy crap, at 156. Dom Rigoli from TRP returned to Cootamundra for the first time since 2010 and came out guns blazing with Adrian's Red Rocket resetting the 4-cylinder all-wheel drive record with a staggering 9.1 second pass, beating out a lot of GTR times from the past.
Oh, better launch.
Now I'm getting the launch.
What do you reckon it was?
Nines, still nines.
Mate, congratulations, you were the quickest 4-cylinder all-wheel drive ever at Cootamundra with a 9.1.
Yeah!
We saw a rotary go into the nines and a new record with Arthur from Tuner's Edge going 9.92 in that crazy little 323 wagon.
Right. I felt like a 9-second pass.
We also saw a manual GTR go into the 8s for a first time and obviously resetting the record with Anthony Sard's Ward GTR from Croydon Racing Developments dominating the weekend.
8-9! Yes! Woo!
Bro, guess what?
890!
Bull. 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 You're kidding.
Now, speaking of Anthony Sard's Ward GTR, one of my biggest highlights for 2018 was having the privilege of having a drive of that car. Now, Anthony told me at Cootamundra for Runway Thrash that if he runs an 8-second pass, he was going to throw me the keys. So, he did it and threw me the keys. After a quick practice run, I was able to go 9.3, 160 miles an hour, and what I can say is that car is an absolute, 1, work of art, 2, super reliable and extremely well set up car, and it is an absolute monster. What a highlight. Heading to Las Vegas to check out the Sema Show is a big highlight for us every year. In fact, it was our 10th trip to Las Vegas this year. Now, every time we go there, we try to catch up with our friends from Dream Racing so we can have a thrash of some supercars and race cars around a racetrack. And a big highlight for me this year was the chance to drive the brand new Huracan Performante. But even better, got to drive it back to back and compare it to a normal Huracan as well as an Aventador SV. It was a pretty great way to finish off the year.